We're here again. I'm again trying something different. Doing this is getting ridiculous. I've got like 3 different streams going right now. I'm just experimenting, see which one, seems to be the most preferred, I guess. Because so far, it seems the vertical streams are the most preferred form. But I've got 2 forms of vertical streaming going, and so I don't know, it might get hard to manage at some point. I'm just testing right now. Okay, everything's working so far. Good. So strange. Okay. Best to get started. So, or restarted. I took a break earlier. What is the name of the efflux pump in capillary endothelium that transports many lipophilic drugs out of the brain, contributing to the blood-brain barrier? That is P-glycoprotein. The chemoreceptor trigger zone, CRTZ, is located in the area postrema on the floor of the 4th ventricle, an area where the blank is not fully present. Blood-brain barrier. Okay, I didn't know that. Where is cerebrospinal fluid primarily produced? The cerebral cortex, I think. No, choroid plexus. I get those 2 mixed up. The choroid plexus of the brain's ventricles. Failure to absorb CSF adequately from the subarachnoid space results in a condition called this one's easy. Enlarged head, characterized by the expansion of the ventricles. Craniomegaly? No. Hydrocephalus. What is the term for a sensory neuron that carries information into the CNS from the periphery? A sensory efferent nerve. No, wait, sorry, sensory afferent. Yeah, afferent. A motor neuron that carries signals out of the CNS to effector organs is called a motor efferent neuron. In a resting neuron, the membrane potential is primarily maintained by the concentration gradients of ions and the activity of the blank pump. Sodium-potassium pump. Yeah, sodium-potassium ATPase. Hey JJ Prime, how you doing? How are you doing today? You're doing good? Awesome. Anyone who... I'm like testing what it's like to have different streams going on my channel right now. So if you guys see that I have 3 streams on my channel, that's why. I'm trying to test like which media is most preferred by people. I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. I'm just studying right now for my exam tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Tuesday. I think I said tomorrow earlier as well, but no, I don't have an exam tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Okay. An action potential is triggered when a stimulus causes the membrane potential to reach the threshold potential. Yes. The rapid depolarization phase of an action potential is caused by the opening and voltage-gated calcium channels? Sodium channels. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate it. Thank you. The repolarization phase of an action potential is caused by the closing of sodium channels and the opening of voltage-gated potassium channels. So rapid depolarization is caused by the opening of sodium channels, and repolarization is caused by the closing of sodium channels and the opening of voltage-gated potassium channels. What is the period during which a neuron cannot generate another action potential because its voltage-gated sodium channels are inactivated? That is called the absolute refractory period. All right. The jumping of an action potential from one node of our NBA to the next in a myelinated axon is called saltatory conduction. The arrival of an action potential at the presynaptic terminal triggers the opening of voltage-gated blank channels, which is essential for neurotransmitter release. Okay, is this the calcium channel form? Yes. Voltage-gated calcium channels. A depolarizing stimulus that brings the postsynaptic membrane closer to threshold is known as an excitatory postsynaptic potential, or EPSP. What is the term for pain induced by a primary lesion or dysfunction of the nervous system itself? Pathological. No, neuropathic pain. Like neuropathy, if you've ever heard of neuropathy. That's what that is. Okay. So, yeah, neuropathic pain. Okay, allodynia is, I can't remember, a painful response to a normally non-painful stimulus. Okay, that makes sense. Coming back to me. The conversion of a noxious stimulus into an action potential by the nociceptor is the first step in the pain pathway known as... Is it transduction, transmission? Transduction. Pain signals are carried from the periphery to the spinal cord primarily by which two types of afferent nerve fibers? A delta, and C fibers. Yeah, I remember talking about that a little bit yesterday in review. The two main excitatory neurotransmitters released by primary afferent pain fibers in the dorsal horn of the spinal cord are glutamate and GABA. No, substance P, sorry. Glutamate and substance P. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay, pain signals ascend from the spinal cord to the brain primarily via which two tracts? The spinothalamic tract and the spino-reticular tract. The descending analgesic pathway which inhibits pain signals in the spinal cord originates in the blank of the midbrain. Pons? I don't know. No. Periaqueductal gray matter. Okay. What is the primary function of the somatic division of the PNS? It deals with the external environment, innervating skin, joints, and skeletal muscle. The cell bodies of afferent sensory neurons are located in the blank ganglia at each segmental spinal nerve. Vertebral ganglia, dorsal root ganglia. The awareness of the position of one's body in 3D space is known as proprioception, I'd say. Yep. Which type of proprioceptor located in striated muscle responds to the length and rate of stretch? Muscle spindles. Okay. Which proprioceptors are located at the interface of striated muscle and tendon and respond to the force, tension, generated by muscle contraction? Golgi tendon organs. The stretch reflex, which is important for maintaining muscle tone and posture, is also known as the blank reflex. Excuse me. Myotatic reflex. A loss of coordinated movement is clinically termed paraplegia or something along those lines. No, not even close. Ataxia. Man, I'm really not doing too well these past couple cards here. Oh well. It's probably just because I'm getting tired or something. And let's see here. Okay. What type of ataxia is characterized by a loss of balance, head tilt, and a tendency to fall or roll to one side? Vestibular ataxia. Cerebellar ataxia is characterized by an inability to modulate gait, resulting in signs like dysmetria, blank, and a base-wide stance. Something tremors, I think is what it was. Correction tremors? No, not even close. Hypometria. Hypermetria. Sorry. Neurotransmitter release is triggered by an influx of calcium ions, which activates the blank protein complex. Well, there I just showed that. It's snare protein complex, causing vesicle fusion with the presynaptic membrane. What are the three primary mechanisms for terminating a neurotransmitter signal in the synaptic cleft? Diffusion, enzymatic degradation, and active reuptake into cells. The botulism toxin causes paralysis by degrading snare complex proteins, which prevents the release of which neurotransmitter at the neuromuscular junction? Acetylcholine. Which type of postsynaptic receptor is an ion channel that opens directly upon neurotransmitter binding, resulting in very fast signaling? Ionotropic receptor is the answer. Which type of postsynaptic receptor is a G-protein coupled receptor that initiates an intracellular signaling cascade, resulting in slower but more prolonged effects? Okay, I don't know. Hold on, Nate. I'm in the middle of this right now, studying. The answer is metabotropic receptor. The autoimmune disease myasthenia gravis involves autoantibodies that target and destroy blank receptors at the neuromuscular junction. I don't know. Nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. Huh. Beats me. The primary neurotransmitters of the sympathetic nervous system, such as norepinephrine and epinephrine, are part of which chemical class? These are cholinergic. No. Well, catecholamines. Maybe they do have some cholinergic effect, but they're a type of monoamine. The primary, wait, hold on. Okay. The primary excitatory neurotransmitter in the brain is blank, while the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter is blank. I think it's glutamate and GABA. I can't remember which one's which. I think excitatory is glutamate, inhibitory is GABA. Yes. That is true. All autonomic preganglionic fibers release which neurotransmitter? Acetylcholine. Parasympathetic postganglionic fibers are typically blank, meaning they release acetylcholine. Cholinergic. That's what cholinergic means. Okay. Most sympathetic postganglionic fibers are blank, meaning they release norepinephrine. Adrenergic, or adrenergic. However you say that. Adrenergic. Adrenergic. cholinergic, adrenergic. I think it's adrenergic, yeah. Yep, that's the answer. What are the two main types of cholinergic receptors? I don't know. Nicotinic and muscarinic. I should have known that. Nicotinic receptors are found on postganglionic cell bodies in all autonomic ganglia and at the blank junction. Neuromuscular junction. Muscarinic receptors are found on the effector cell membranes of the blank system. Mucosal system, digestive system, parasympathetic system. Okay. What are the two main classes of adrenergic or adrenergic receptors? Alpha and beta. It's all coming back to me, but I don't know these off the top of my head. Which adrenergic receptors are found mainly in the heart and bind equally to epinephrine and norepinephrine? Beta 1 receptors. Which adrenergic receptors are found mainly on blood vessels and respond more strongly to norepinephrine, causing an excitatory or constrictive response? Alpha 2? No, alpha 1 receptors. I just got to know all this alphabet soup. The membranous labyrinth of the inner ear, including the cochlear duct, is filled with a unique high potassium fluid called blank. I know this one. This is either endolymph or perilymph. I think it's endo. Yep, endolymph. The bony labyrinth of the inner ear, containing the scala vestibuli and scala tympani, is filled with blank, which is similar to extracellular fluid, perilymph. What is the sensory organ for hearing located within the cochlear duct and sitting atop the basilar membrane? Scala tympani? No. The spiral organ, or the organ of Corti, however you say that. Which specialized structure in the outer wall of the cochlear duct is believed to be the primary source of endolymph? I know this, I just forgot. The stria vascularis. In the spiral organ, which hair cells are primarily responsible for sound detection, accounting for 90% of afferent nerve connections? Inner hair cells. Man. Yeah, so far it's like I'm getting some of these, but not others. So, I guess it's expected that I won't get every single one. The basilar membrane is tuned along its length with high-frequency sounds detected at the blank turn and low-frequency sounds at the blank turn. I think it's apical and basal. But I think it's actually the other way around, basal and apical. Yes. Glad I remembered that one. High frequency at the base, low frequency at the apex. The blank and blank are two sacs in the vestibule that contain sensory maculae for detecting the static position of the head and linear acceleration. I don't have a clue. The sacculus and the utriculus. Okay. Someone use me as a couch. Okay. What is the sensory structure within the ampulla of each semicircular canal that detects rotational movement of the head? Do I have off from school Thanksgiving? Yes, I do. I have Thanksgiving break off. That'll be in 2 weeks, I believe. Yes. After Friday of next week, I'll be off. That's right. What is the sensory structure within the ampulla of each semicircular canal that detects rotational movement of the head? The crista ampullaris. Am I doing life science? I'm actually doing veterinary medicine right now. This is just one of the classes, physiology and histology. Right now we're going over neurology, mainly. Lots of ear stuff, lots of eye, nerves, that sort of thing. Am I still in school? Yes, I am. I'm in vet school. The middle ear transmits sound waves from the tympanic membrane to the inner ear via 3 bones called the auditory ossicles. Hey! Finally I got one right. Auditory ossicles. What are the 3 auditory ossicles in mammals? I don't know that one. The malleus, the incus, and the stapes. Stapes, I think. Malleus, I think, means mallet. Incus might mean, well, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. The external acoustic meatus, or the ear canal, is lined with which type of epithelium? I don't know. Keratinizing stratified squamous epithelium. Okay. Now, okay, that makes sense because it's the outside of your body, your skin. Your skin is keratinizing. Basically, all the skin that you see right now is dead, unless you've got a cut. The keratinous layer of skin on the outside of, well, the visible part of your skin has no vascularity to it. It's just basically a layer of dead cells. And so that makes sense why the external acoustic meatus, or the ear canal, is lined with the same epithelium. It's skin. Modified apocrine glands in the external ear canal that produce earwax are called blank glands. Not sebaceous, I don't think. Ceruminous glands. Okay. The vestibular system is responsible for the sense of blank and coordinates eye and head movements. Sense of direction, sense of proprioception, equilibrium / balance is the answer. Okay. In the maculae of the utricle and saccule, hair cell stereocilia are embedded in a gelatinous layer containing calcium carbonate crystals called otoliths. Huh. Did not know that one. I may have heard it at some point, but not since. Okay. What is the term for the reflex control of eye movements to stabilize gaze during head movement? The vestibulo-ocular reflex, or the VOR. Term, nystagmus. Nystagmus is where your eyes like drift and they can't sit still, but what does it say here? It's an involuntary rhythmic oscillation of the eyes. Okay. In peripheral vestibular disease, postural reactions are typically blank, whereas in central vestibular disease, they are abnormal. I guess normal. Peripheral versus central vestibular disease. Yeah, normal. Okay. Interesting. What diagnostic test is used to assess hearing by measuring electrical responses from the brainstem to auditory stimuli? Brainstem auditory evoked response, or BAER. The process by which the eye focuses light on the retina by changing the shape of the lens is called focus? No. There's got to be a scientific term for it. Accommodation. Okay. Which type of photoreceptor is more sensitive to light and is responsible for night vision? I should know this one. This is rods. Yep. Which type of photoreceptor is responsible for day vision, high acuity, and color vision? Cones. The visual pathway for conscious perception involves ganglion cell axons projecting to the blank nucleus in the thalamus and then to the visual cortex. Lateral geniculate nucleus. I was never going to guess that. The reflex pathway for pupillary constriction involves fibers from the optic tract synapsing in the blank before projecting to the oculomotor nucleus. Synapsing in the pretectum. Pretectum. I don't even think I've heard of that before. The Menis response is a learned response that tests vision via cranial nerve 2, I'd say, and the motor response of blinking via cranial nerve 3. No. 2, yes, was correct. That's the optic nerve, but actually blinking is cranial nerve 7 response, the facial nerve. What are the 3 concentric layers or tunics of the eye? Well, you have the cornea, you have the sclera. Well, let's just look at the answer here. The fibrous tunic, the vascular tunic, and the nervous tunic. So the fibrous tunic is probably the sclera and the cornea. The vascular tunic is the uvea, and the nervous tunic is the retina. The fibrous tunic of the eye is composed of the transparent cornea, okay, and the white opaque sclera. Yep. The highly organized lamellated layers of collagen in the blank are the primary reason for the cornea's transparency. Eye, lens, corneal stroma. I got that question wrong on the quiz. The vascular tunic or uvea consists of the iris, ciliary body, and the choroid. Apparently the eye has a choroid. News to me. You're doing this except you're doing physics. That's cool. Are you are you doing like a doctorate in physics? Or are you just studying right now? Is that what you meant? Aqueous humor is produced by the blank and provides nutrients to the avascular cornea and lens. Ciliary epithelium. You don't know. Oh, are you doing like a? Are you in high school or college? Aqueous humor drains from the eye through the trabecular meshwork at the blank, also known as the filtration angle. Iridocorneal angle. What is the name of the reflective layer within the choroid of many nocturnal animals that enhances night vision? Tympedum. Tympedial membrane. No. The tapetum. Tapetum lucidum. You're in college? Do you are you in a well? So do you think you're in a bachelor's program? So like 4 years until you graduate, basically? Because you said you were taking physics, so that's why I ask. The retina is composed of 10 layers. The outermost layer is the retinal pigmented epithelium, and the other 9 layers form the blank, which is the photosensitive part. Neural retina. So there's the neural retina and the retinal pigmented epithelium. Oh. Well, I understand, man. Me too. Just trying to get through it. Getting tired, but trying to keep going. You know. I hope you get through it all right. What is the anatomical blind spot of the eye? I don't know, but I've heard of it. The optic disc, where the optic nerve exits and there are no photoreceptors. That makes sense. The lens is anchored to the ciliary body by blank. The pupil is actually, I don't know if you can. It's so weird. The black circle in the middle of my eye, the hole, is the pupil. Behind the pupil is the lens. There's muscle around the pupil that is pigmented. That's the color of your eye, called the iris. And then the sclera is the white part. The cornea is the blind spot is the optic disc. The optic disc is where the optic nerve exits, and there's no photoreceptors there, so that's why you can't see there. It's hard to tell because your brain literally like makes up for it somehow, but there's one way you can test. I forgot how, but you guys might be able to look it up if you're curious. The lens is anchored to the ciliary body by suspensory ligaments. The gland of the third eyelid is responsible for producing up to 30% of blank in domestic animals. I'd say tears. Yep, tears. And that's all the note cards. Finally. Now, I should probably do the quiz, but I don't really want to, but I know I probably should. So I guess I will. Well, I don't know. I might have to take another break. Do I have, thank you. Do I have a test? Yes, I have an exam Tuesday for physiology and histology. Physiology is the study of normal anatomical function. Histology is the study of tissues. Yep. Yep. I don't know. I might have to just take a long break. Stop this stream. See what my brother was asking about. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Thank you all for watching. Use ChatGPT. I wish I could. I mean, I can, but it's hard to pull out a phone or do that in a proctored exam. So I've got to really know the material. I do use AI to learn the material though. Like for example, I was just using Notebook LM, which is like a Google AI, and I was using it for flashcards. It generated flashcards, and it also can generate quizzes. Hey JJ Prime, yeah, I remember you. How you doing? I remember you. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. From what I can tell, you're pretty smart too. Sounds like you're going to college, so that's more than a lot of people. But also at the same time, not everyone needs to go to college. I mean, the world still needs carpenters, etc. But see you later, man. Have a good one. Hey, Lucas, how you doing? How are you, Lucas? Probably about to end this stream. I'm very exhausted. I'm doing okay. Just studying or trying to. Been studying for like the past 3 hours or 2 at least, so getting kind of exhausted. Tired of talking. That's okay. Man, I don't want to end the stream though. That's the problem. I don't want to stop talking to y'all. But I don't know. I do need to see what my brother's wanting. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate all of you. And I'll see y'all in the next one.